It's Kyiv, not Kiev on the line. My name is Polina Bachuk and this is my friend and fellow Tatiana Haiduk.
Today is Thursday, and therefore we traditionally present to your attention a portion of news about how Ukraine spent its last week. Shall we?
Of course, today's news digest includes rising tensions on the borders between Russia and Ukraine,
the Ukrainian city that has received the most prestigious award from the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe,
fashion diplomacy of Ukraine's First Lady,
results of President Zelensky's visit to Turkey.
Let's get it started
Immediately. Russia has concentrated more troops near the border with Ukraine than in 2014, Pentagon spokesman John Kirby said. He did not name a specific number, but European Union Foreign Minister Josep Borrell said that Russia had reportedly concentrated 150,000 troops near Ukraine and the occupied Crimea.
Although Russia is trying hard to talk about Ukraine without Ukraine, since the beginning of the tension, Ukraine's Western allies, the United States, the European Union, G7 countries and NATO have expressed their support for Kyiv.
On April 15, US President Joe Biden signed a decree on a new package of sanctions against Russia. The White House clarified that sanctions are imposed for intervening in the US election as well as for cyber attacks of the United States. The White House said that the US had also imposed sanctions on 8 companies and individuals involved in the occupation and repressions in the annexed Crimea.
The culmination of international support was a meeting between Zelenskyy and Macron in Paris with Angela Merkel. She joined the conversation via the video link. The leaders of Germany and France stressed the need for the full implementation of the Minsk agreements for both sides and said that Germany and France would continue their efforts in the Normandy format.
However, is it possible to continue the Normandy format if one of the members does not declare itself party to the conflict, completely ignores international law and all attempts to resolve the conflict? The question is open.
In addition to the deployment of troops in Crimea and near the borders with Ukraine, Russia continues to carry out brazen provocations. For example, only this weekend, the Russian FSB detained Ukrainian consul, whose name is Oleksandr Sosonyuk, for several hours for allegedly receiving confidential information from law enforcement databases.
Ukraine didn't wait to respond. The Russian diplomat was declared persona non grata and was given 72 hours to leave Ukraine.
But this is not the only diplomatic scandal with Russian involvement that happened this week. The Czech Republic expelled 18 Russian diplomats for spying. The Russian diplomats are suspected of being intelligence operatives involved in an explosion at the Czech arms depot in 2014, which killed 2 people.
2 Russians suspected of carrying out a Novichok attack in the UK in 2018 are now also being linked to the blast. In a tit-for-tat move, Russia expelled 20 Czech diplomats.
Amid the growing Russian military presence near Ukraine's border, calls for Ukraine's membership in NATO are increasingly heard.
The Baltic states have already expressed their support for Ukraine's accession to NATO. We support Ukraine's European and Euro-Atlantic membership aspirations, including, as it was stated in the NATO Bucharest Summit declaration, and encourage Ukraine to continue necessary reforms in this respect, says the statement of foreign ministers of Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia and Ukraine.
However, Russia didn't lose the opportunity to respond to the speculation about Ukraine joining NATO. The Kremlin has said that if Ukraine joins the alliance, it will lead to a full-scale escalation of the situation in Donbas. Interesting position, having in mind that Russia constantly declares its non-involvement in the events in eastern Ukraine.
While Europe tries to appease Putin, President Zelenskyy in a video statement invited him to meet in any part of the Ukrainian Donbas where the war is going on. Earlier, Putin ignored the Ukrainian president's invitations to talk.
2 days ago, the president of Ukraine addressed the people about the escalation of the conflict by Russia. Does Ukraine want a war? No. But is it ready for it? Yes, said Zelenskyy. He stressed that Ukraine will always take steps towards a diplomatic solution to the conflict. Ukraine will never start a war, but it always fights till the end.
The president also thanked foreign partners for their support in appeasing Putin. At the same time, he called them to change their diplomatic concerns to determination. It is important for Ukraine, which is a shield for Europe, to see not just their support as partners from the stands, but as players of one team on the field.
The visit of the President of Ukraine to Turkey took place amid aggravation in the Donbas and Crimea. Expert community considers such cooperation between Kyiv and Ankara as aspirations of both sides to strengthen security in the Black Sea region and implement the occupation of Crimea and Donbas.
Turkey supports the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Ukraine and is ready to join the Crimean platform. This is an important signal to Russia, which is keeping to create challenges for the countries of the Black Sea region.
The locomotive of cooperation between Ukraine and Turkey is a security cooperation. In this context, the Ukrainian-Turkish agreements look very promising. Among everything else, President discussed a joint production of ADA-class corvettes with Turkey, which in the future will be produced on capacities of the Ocean Enterprise in Mykolaiv.
Besides, Ukraine and Turkey are discussing joint production of the Ukrainian An-178 military transport aircraft at the Antonov plant. All this did not go unnoticed by Russia. Moscow had already reacted quite nervously. Russia banned its citizens from traveling to Turkey until June 1st, and Volodymyr Putin has already called to Erdogan to inform him about Ukrainian provocations in Donbas. We hope Turkey and our other partners will stay with Ukraine to restore and maintain justice and security.
Sharing this news with you, we are giving you a hint on who will join us in the next ambassadorial episode of Kyiv Not Kyiv, so don't miss it. Finally, we will mix our two favorite themes into one.
What do you mean?
You love fashion, I love diplomacy. Anyway, we'll talk about fashion diplomacy.
And our fashion ambassador is the First Lady Olena Zelenska. I never miss her outfits during official trips.
When choosing an outfit for official events, Olena Zelenska is always guided by the desire to promote Ukrainian brands and carry out a kind of cultural diplomacy. Fashion, in her opinion, helps to establish cultural ties between the countries and express respect for the host country.
For example, before the visit to Japan, Ukrainian designer Ivan Frolov created two outfits for the First Lady in yellow and blue. And it not only because these are the colors of the Ukrainian flag, but also because the Japanese ceremonial protocol requires that the color corresponds to the season.
During her last visit to the fashion capital of the world, Paris, the First Lady of Ukraine wore a costume of the Ukrainian brand Lake Studio, known for its fine work with art references and Ukrainian heritage. She looked gorgeous next to Madame Macron's Louis Vuitton.
At the opening of the audio guide in the Palace of Versailles, the First Lady showed a new image. She combined the trench coat of the Odessa brand Olenich with ecological sneakers Veja, which caused a significant resonance in the network.
Yeah, critics of Zelenska's shoes believe that sports shoes are completely unacceptable during official visits abroad. They were reminded that one shouldn't wear high-heeled shoes to Versailles to not damage the museum's parquet.
Following the discussions about the admissibility of the sneakers in Versailles, the news that Versailles will soon speak Ukrainian was completely lost, and the initiative of Olena Zelenska, Ukrainian, was added to the audio guides of the world's most prominent museums like Colosseum in Rome, Galata Tower in Istanbul, the Albertini Museum in Vienna, and also guide in Ukrainian will appear in the Tower of London as part of Olena Zelenska's initiative.
In defense of the sneakers, I will add that this is a French sustainable fashion brand. Therefore, the choice in favor of such shoes was a kind of courtesy towards the host country. We would like to remind you that among the most famous fans of the sustainable shoe brand are Kate Middleton, Meghan Markle, Emily Ratajkowski and Emma Watson.
Olena Zelenska loves to discover the world of Ukrainian designers and prefers such Ukrainian brands and designers as Yelena Reva, Artem Klimchuk, Six, Gunya Project, Daphne May, Vitakin.
At the end of this episode, we could not help but mention the achievements of one beautiful Ukrainian city. And no, this is not about Kyiv.
Khmelnytskyi, lovely city in the west of Ukraine, won the 2021 Europe Prize, the highest prize awarded annually by the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe. to the cities that most actively promote European ideals. This is not the first award the city has received from the PACE, European Diploma, Honorary Flag, Flag of Honor. Now the city has a full set of awards that testify to efforts to promote European values and approaches.
Recognized in 2020 as the most comfortable city to live in Ukraine, Khmelnytskyi has been celebrating Europe Day since 2003, organizing meetings of European clubs in educational institutions and festivals of national and European culture. The most famous are probably Glushenkov Fest, which brings together national dancers from all over the world in Khmelnytskyi, and Rock and Book, a powerful international rock festival organized with all the requirements for inclusiveness and care for the environment.
Khmelnytskyi has a special approach to environmental protection. The city is a member of the EBRD's Green Cities initiative, among 5 cities in Ukraine and about 40 globally, and is working to build a recycling plant as a part of the solid waste management strategy. Such a plant will be one of the first of this kind built in Ukraine. German towns Bamberg, Münster and Polish Kielce also competed for the 2021 Euro Prize in the final stage, but Khmelnytskyi, a city of green parks, festivals and delicious cuisine, won.
Khmelnytskyi is not the first Ukrainian city to win the Euro Prize. In 2010 the award was given to Kharkiv and in 2018 to Ivano-Frankivsk.
That's all news for today. Thank you for staying with us. There are many more interesting news to come.
Stay safe, stay kind, remember that this is Kyiv, not Kiev, and see you soon!
Our newest ambassadorial episode will very soon be released. You'll definitely enjoy it.
These were Polina Boychuk and Tetiana Haiduk. From Ukraine with love,